Have you had a spiritual awakening? Looking for some guidance? Let's do a spiritual awakening tarot reading. I'm going to do a past, present, future. This is unusual for me. Don't normally do the past part, but I just feel like this collective needs a bit of clarity and guidance for how things have played out in the past. Okay. If you want to personalize one of these and you want it same day, go to the link. You know where to go. They're still on winter sale at the moment. 25 quid for one of these, so get them in whilst you can. Okay, it can be in any subject area. Right, so let's start with the past for this collective. What happened to lead up to, or that kind of came in line with this awakening? Right, okay, so it feels like this collective had a little bit of reluctance to take the veil off, to see the situation as it really is, because we start off with the Two of Swords. Swords are where we think words we use. So you're the lady there, sword on either side, normally crossed. Left path, right path, stick or twist. Problem is, you've got blindfold on, burying your head in the sand in regard to what was happening. Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Pentacles, earth, money, finance, non-financial wealth. That's what we're investing our time, efforts, and energies in. Now, with this deck, because you've got the character there with the crossbow, which is she's aiming at the target, which is one of the Pentacles. Upright position being on target, you started to go off target because there was a refusal to accept what was happening to you, basically. Now, when you go through a proper awakening, it's a bit like Neo in the Matrix. You know, you start to realize that everything's a lie. You're being manipulated and controlled, and that's scary, because it means that you have to push forwards knowing the truth, and you have to push forwards making changes and living your life in a completely different way. Queen of Pentacles, court cards can be an energy within ourselves, can be the energy of somebody else around us. Queen's feminine energy, King's masculine energy. Please remember, we talk about energy, not gender. Okay. I'm going to say this collective. The Queen of Pentacles is kind, caring, loving, devoted. She's normally cradling the pentacle like a baby, but it's less so in this. But you know, now they can be good qualities. Don't get me wrong, but they can also be bad qualities, because it can indicate nurturing bad behaviours in other people, propping other people up who don't need the support. Really, let's continue. Yeah, I think it was the more negative aspects of the Queen of Pentacles, nurturing and supporting either other people, another collective, or just the system at large. Ten of Swords. Swords are where we think words we use. Ten's completion cards. Got to cover it up. Is a body face down with swords in its back. Now, in this case, I mean, there could be a certain amount of feeling stabbed in the back, but I feel it's more to do with self-limiting beliefs. Now, self-limiting beliefs, start from the moments that you enter the game of life. And it's all about oppressing and suppressing you, telling you can't do something, telling you you're not good at this. Now, please remember, when you stop and think and actually engage your brain, how much of what you think is what you think, and how much has been programmed into you via self-limiting belief construct. Because I pretty much guarantee you, when you actually stop and remove the ego that says, no, that's my thought process, you're going to realize that it's not. Right? It comes from elsewhere. Parents, teachers, friends, past lovers, current lovers, depending on the situation. Nine of Cups in the reverse. Cups, water, emotions. Nine's reflection cards. So you're the person on the stool there, proudly presenting the 9 cups. Now, as I say, in Chappie's case, a lot of those cups would have been filled with nasty stuff. So tequila, gin, Mad Dog 2020. He's drank it, he's kept the cup, he's being proud of himself. Now, with my readings, it's often with people who are drawn to me, they're going through an awakening, stuck in a karmic cycle, been to hell and back. So it's very rare. 9 of Cups or 9 of Pentacles are very similar. In the upright position means that you've achieved something, you've found that abundance. It's normally when stuff's gone wrong, people will let you down. It's about looking back and going, do you know what? I turned up, I showed up, I brought the emotion. If they can't see that from sideways, they can watch me rise. When it's in the reverse position, it's like, yeah, but is there any more that I can do in the current situation? Simple answer is, or in this case was, no. And it was time to release yourself and go down the rabbit hole. Ace of Cups in the reverse. Okay, Ace is bringing in new energy, not starting something new. So in the upright position, this is about reassessing, right, long term, what's going to make me happy? What's going to fill my cup? There was a refusal to do that. Obstacles or blockages. Four of Pentacles. Okay. So we call this guy the banker, is the investment card of the investment suits, right? So the obstacle blockage during this time was continuing to invest in a system or a life that was no longer aligned to you. Removing any blockages. Knight of Swords. Swords there where we think words we use. Knight's forward motion. This knight talks about either news coming in fast or expressing ourselves. Okay. So yeah, what it feels like with this collective here, I feel like before we've even started, the awakening has already happened and there was some denial. That kind of threw you energetically off target, but you continue to nurture this old way of being, this old system, if there's other people involved, and it came from self-limiting beliefs. And there was almost this thing of, yeah, but is there any more I can do that might rectify the current situation so that I don't have to, you know, can I have one foot in, one foot out? No, you can't. You know, what's going to make you happy? Because the sad fact is when you've had an awakening or when you're going through an awakening, you know, by denying it, you're denying you're happy because you're supposed to be doing something else. Your soul is calling you to do something else, be somewhere else, etc., etc. So was there anything you could have done from the past? Yes, you should have started expressing yourself more. You should have taken that blindfold off to the situation. Okay, let's go on to the present spread. Now, as I always say, some of this will have recently happened. Some will be in play now. Some might be coming up about a week or so. The present's always going into the past. I'm just going to give them a good shuffle. Turn around. Let's go on to spread 2. Right, okay, so we start off with the King of Swords. King's masculine energy. The King of Swords is how I describe my reading style. Blunt, direct, to the point, here to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. I feel like this is somebody else, okay? I feel like you've got a straight talker around you, somebody in their authenticity who's trying to guide you. The problem is we then got the 5 of Wands in the reverse. Wands fire action. Upright position, this is the fight or fallout card. It can talk about frustration. What it feels like is despite having a King of Swords by your side who's trying to guide you, who's trying to give you the information as it really is, you're giving up on the fight in regard to pushing forwards with what you want. Why? Devil card. So the Devil card normally for me talks about either leaning on toxic crutches and vices or being chained to some kind of toxic karmic energy. With this being a spiritual reading, it could be that you're still being kind of encompassed and controlled by some kind of dark energy, some dark forces. Okay, let's continue. Right, okay, so this may or may not have happened yet. We then got the Moon card in the reverse. Now, the Moon card for me talks about the unknowns. It's when we feel like something's off and we can't put our finger on it, or we're scrabbling around looking for the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle and we can't get them all together. In the upright position, the Moon card says there's no point looking yet. It's not ready to be revealed. In the reverse position, some clarity, some information coming through. Now, it does often come through in our dreams, hence the Moon. And if it does come through in your dreams, it's from one of 3 places. Either something in your subconscious gets unlocked, so you go, right, I understand why I behave that way, I understand why I go about things that way, etc., etc. Message from spirit or message from the universe. Now, as always, these messages, if they do come through in sleep state, in dream state, they can be vivid, but they'll be weird and cryptic. So there's going to be some clarity coming through. That's then going to activate the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune for me talks about either the energy around us or the way we're thinking about things. I feel it's to do with the way you're thinking about things, and there's going to be an energetic shift. There's going to be a mental shift, starting to realize that you are the creator of your own reality. You are the main player in this video game called life, but you've got to accept that, understand it, remove the masks, and step into that leader role. Okay. Overall outcome card. Page of Swords. Page is more youthful energy. I'm going to say this is yourselves based on the cards here. So the Page of Swords is about blue sky thinking, thinking outside the box, being more creative and playful. Obstacles or blockages. Emperor in the reverse. Right, so the Emperor in the upright position is what we call the divine masculine. He's like the kings, but he's combined. He's a good ruler, he's a good leader, he's wise, he's knowledgeable, he's firm but fair, he's not afraid of fight, he's not afraid of change. In the reverse position, we often call him toxic masculine energy. Now, that can range from someone or something that doesn't want to change up to the nasty stuff: anger, aggression, oppression, suppression, abuse, lust, power, greed. I feel like this ties into that devil energy there. And the obstacle or blockage here is that you're allowing other controlling factors, up until the moon card hits at least, to take control of your own destiny, right? Removing any blockages. Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man for me is a leap of faith card. Yes, the Fool is as well, but the Fool has the meanings, such as starting a brand new cycle, being a bit more present. The Hanged Man is always a leap of faith card for me because we're stuck with a decision. Left path, right path, stick, twist. Problem is looking for guarantees. What you're being asked to do in the upright position is have a shift in perspective, okay? And that ties in round about that moon card. What it feels like is, with the moon card, it does feel like something's going to come through to you, and it's going to be a case of having a bit of blind faith. So, case in point, people get stuck because they look for hard, concrete proof of there being something beyond the veil. Now, when this information comes through, it's in synchronicities. The universe doesn't talk to you in completes. It doesn't talk to you in absolutes. It dances to its own rhythm, and it's synchronicities, it's deja vu, it's reoccurring numbers, etc., etc., etc. And you have to have that acceptance and belief, because if you don't, you're just going to forever remain stuck. So I'm quietly confident that this collective's on the right path. Just a little bit concerned that we've got that devil energy there, because that needs breaking free from. So we're going to go up to, let's just go up to a month. If you have one of these, they go up to 6 months, but I'm only going to go up to a month with this being a collective reading. Don't forget to save, don't forget to comment if this does resonate, and please do also repost. Right, we're back on the fight back to get Urban Warlock healing where it should be. Okay, we've had a lot of hits this last year and a half. Let's get us back to where we should be, near the top of the tower. Right, tend to find this goes chronological. It says tower and it comes out. Tend to find this goes chronological, outcome card being close towards a month from now. Right, so we start off with the tower card. So we call the tower card the awakening card, funnily enough. So we've got the tower there. It's being struck by lightning. It's on fire. There's people jumping out, it's cracking, it's crumbling. This tower is your old belief system, I feel, your old reality. It's built on rocky foundations and it needs to come down. Now, I feel like because you went into that Page of Swords energy, freed up your thinking, the universe went, right, let's start to dissolve the old reality. Now, tower cards are always for your long-term good, whether you like what happens or not. 1 time out of 10, they're positive. 9 times out of 10, they're tough and destructive. The idea is that the tower gets played because the universe goes, right, collective, you're still in this timeline here. We need you over here. There's something you've not done, said, change shifted, whack, bitch slap, get over there, splat. Now, I don't feel it's going to be necessarily a positive tower card, but I don't think it's going to be anything too heavy, because this is a spiritual reading. It feels like, I say, I want to use that word dissolving, the dissolving of an old timeline. That's then going to put you into the Page of Wands. Okay, so this page is about getting out there, trying things, dipping your toe in the water, understanding that this is a new path forwards. You're not expected to have all the answers, and this is your story to create. The Magician, very positive, powerful manifestation card there. So you're going to be given the opportunity to really put out there what you want and manifest big. Let's continue. Right, we then got the Hermit card. I'm going to go standard Hermit here. Periods of withdrawal and reflection. What's gone right? What's gone wrong? What direction we're going in next? Now, in the standard Rider Waite, the Hermit's holding a lamp. So it's what I call going into the dark side, shining a light on the demons, the trauma, the situation. By going into that Hermit mode of reflection, you're going to come out King of Wands. Wands fire action, King's masculine energy. So the King of Wands is similar to the Emperor, is just not at that level, okay? So I feel like this is the collective taking control of the situation, realizing that to push forwards, to find that happy life, etc., you have to take control of the situation, okay? Overall outcome card. Ace of Cups. Cups, water, emotions. Ace is bringing in new energy. So we're finally assessing what is it that's going to make me happy. On my path forwards, what is it that I want, okay? Obstacles or blockages. 2 of Pentacles. Right, I'm going to keep this simple. Infinity loop. right? Infinity Loop in tarot talks about a karmic cycle. The obstacle or blockage is remaining in an old cycle. I'm not overly worried because, like I say, it feels like the Tower card's coming in to dissolve that old timeline for you, removing any blockages. But please remember, you have free will and choice. This should automatically pay out. But people, if they start tampering and fannying with it, it will make a change. Four of Pentacles in the reverse. I'm going to keep this simple. No longer investing in that old timeline or cycle. So I feel like this collective is going to be perfectly fine. It's one of those funny ones where I'm just going to say, let it play out. You're on your way to stepping into that creator role, if you want to call it that. You're on your way to assessing what's going to make you happy. Don't tinker with it, okay? But like I say, these are collective, so they do work on an algorithm. So if you want a personalised one, please do get it in. Same day, guaranteed, currently on sale, 25 quid, recorded. Ta-ta.